On this week's episode of The Verdict, the Pittsburgh Penguins are 1 win away from lifting the Stanley Cup.
Golden State Warriors could be 2 wins away from winning the NBA championship.
And the Chicago Cubs are 60 wins away from winning the World Series.
What's happening?
Whew, it's time for The Verdict. Court's in session. All right, Matty. Now, the Toronto Raptors are not playing anymore. They're long eliminated. It's kind of sad, but the offseason has started, I think, officially.
Already. And it started later than usual.
Much later than usual, so we should be happy about that.
Yes.
Dwayne Casey.
He's back?
Extended. Well, he never left.
No, but in some hearts he did. In some hearts they wanted him to leave last year.
That's true. Yeah.
And he signed a 3-year extension worth around, 18 million?
18 million cojones.
So that's a decent bit of chunk change. So this amazes me because last year there were still rumors, if you remember, about the Raptors being interested in Monty Williams and all these guys of kind of, getting ready to replace Dwayne Casey when he missed the playoffs. Bombs out in the playoffs again in the first round. And we've come so far now. The city as a whole has come so far, and this is the first time. It's kind of incredible that this is going to be the first season that Raptors fans will be 100% settled with Dwayne Casey as the head coach.
100% settled, Matt?
Well, as far as 100% can go.
I'm going to admit, I'm kind of a Casey critic myself, and I still kind of am. And it's for one reason only. It's his offensive play calling. It's pretty uncreative. It's a lot of one-on-one ball, a lot of pick and rolls, just basic one-on-one iso ball, which maybe that's the key to win with DeMar DeRozan on your team. But that being said, Dwayne Casey led a team to the third round of the playoffs with his 2 best players really showing up only about half the games.
Hit and miss. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's hard to argue against this extension.
I'm going to throw some numbers at you. Since you like numbers.
I love numbers.
Painting with numbers. So since Dwayne Casey obviously came to Toronto, the Raptors were 23-43, then 34 wins, then 48 wins, 49 wins, and 56 wins. That's better. It's every single season they've got better. This is obviously an easy choice. He can't take all the credit, obviously, for the turnaround. Masai Ujiri, obviously a huge part of it. And also, what about Kyle Lowry? He takes a lot of pressure off DeMar's shoulders since he came in, and obviously the point guard position is the most important position. So I'm not saying that Casey's, all of these 56 wins this year were down to him, but 3 years, let's sign him up. And on that topic, actually, one last thing. A 3-year contract might have meant that a coach is going to stay here, rain or shine, no matter what, in 1992. Okay? It doesn't anymore.
Not at all.
It means nothing. It's sad that has happened, but if the Raptors were to tank out this season, Dwayne Casey would still take a huge amount of heat and probably lose his job.
But still get paid.
Well, yeah, he'd still get paid, but he would no longer be the coach. So, with that being said, what does Casey have to do this season and beyond?
This season and beyond to keep his job?
Well, yeah, I suppose so.
You'd think it would be continued playoff success, at least the second round this season, wouldn't you?
I think so. That's what I have. Or I said that they could finish first in the conference and have a better regular season.
First in the conference.
That would at least show signs of improvement.
That's true. So, signs of improvement.
Are we happy? Casey is here. Come on, Casey critic. Turn this around.
In the end, I base it on this. Is there anybody out there that's better than Casey for the job? Anyone available?
Oh, available? No.
Available? No. Well, there is one man. I scoured the basketball world and found one man.
Only you would try and replace Casey after he signed a 3-year contract by scouring the league.
I scoured
for every replacement.
And I found him, though. He's the man that led the 2004 Detroit Pistons to the NBA championship.
Oh.
Now, this team is similar to the Raptors in that they are the last team to win an NBA championship without a true superstar on the team. So that coach, being Larry Brown, is really the only one I see, but he's got a cushy NCAA job. I don't see him really being hired. So, that being said,
Dwayne Casey.
Hip hip hooray for Dwayne.
Bang the hat. From one Raptor getting paid to another Raptor getting paid.
He's going to get paid.
but not by the Raptors.
I think we can agree on that. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so Bismack Biyombo. He is now an unrestricted free agent.
Unrestricted, opted out. Yep.
Everybody saw that coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for some mouthwatering stats for shooting right now, this is not your type of player. Okay? But he just over 50% field goal percentage, just over 50% free throw percentage.
He's not there for his offensive game.
No. But he
that.
does what the big man is supposed to do. And in the playoffs, he was on the shining stage for everybody to finally see what Bismack Biyombo does.
Mm-hmm.
What are the chances that he comes back to Toronto?
Well, it starts with the money. Reports are saying upwards of $17 million per year.
Casey gets paid more.
$17 million! Wow.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. It seems crazy, but I don't think the number is too crazy. Now, when you look at the salary cap about to expand by 30%, you look at what a contract now would be expanding by 30%, that would be about $13 million now. So you got to kind of think of it in terms of that. So it's not that crazy to make $13 million, but can the Raptors afford him?
And get somebody else.
And re-sign DeMar and maybe look for someone else? I don't think so.
I don't think it's a wise move. But actually, I don't even know why we're talking about this. I don't see any chance in him coming back to Toronto. Like I said, he's gonna have offers from the league, and he's gonna want to play. He could be a starting center for a lot, probably half the league, honestly, based on his performance in the playoffs. And the Raptors have already committed to Valanciunas, so you're not gonna pay $17 million for a guy who's gonna sit on the bench. It would be fantastic if you did, but you can't do that. So I think it's time to say goodbye, Toronto fans. I don't see them any chance in him coming through, and the Raptors are going to have to develop with Nogueira or sign somebody else.
I do see one slightly plausible scenario where he returns, and that is if the Raptors make a huge, gigantic offseason trade and Jonas Valanciunas is part of it.
Ooh.
That's the only way. I don't think that's going to happen, but...
With an unrestricted free agent, probably not. If he was still restricted and there was still some leverage, then you could probably do that. But yeah, I think bye-bye Bismack, unfortunately.
Bye-bye Busy.
It was a fun season. All right.
Bye-bye Busy.
You know what else is having a fun season?
Fun season. The Bachelorette has been quite fun so far.
It has. Yeah, who do you think's going to win?
I don't know. There's that one guy on steroids in it. Some drama unfolding in The Bachelorette.
Jason. There's going to be somebody called Jason in there.
I think it's Jay. Jay.
Aaron Rodgers' brother is in there.
Is he?
Yeah.
Mr.
Jordan
Rodgers.
He calls himself an NFL quarterback. I don't ever remember watching him in the NFL.
Just took his brother's profession.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, that's enough Bachelor. We won't spoil it for you guys.
That's
Watch
not
it
the
on
season
ABC.
you're talking about?
No.
Okay.
I was trying to talk, actually, before you kind of went a bit off topic there, about the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're having quite a run, and they're still going. In fact, Pittsburgh's one win away from taking home Lord Stanley's Cup.
Is it still Lord Stanley's Cup?
Well, it won't be soon.
I feel like Lord Stanley's not around anymore. Is it his cup anymore?
I don't think you can take it off him.
It's just a dead man's cup. Anyways.
This series has been... Has it been close or has it not been close?
Matt, don't even kid yourself. It has not been close. This has been a boring, mediocre NHL Finals. Pittsburgh has outplayed them in every facet of the game. Yeah. I got a telling stat for you. Telling stat of the day, Matt.
Telling stat music,
I'm gonna
please.
Pose it in trivia form. Matt, how many minutes in this series has San Jose led in a game?
I know the answer for this.
Do you?
I know the answer to this question.
Matt's done his homework, folks.
The answer is zero.
Zero. The only lead they've had was when Donskoy scored the overtime winner in Game 3. When you're playing from behind the whole series, I don't think that really spells good.
I mean, I could argue with it. I could argue that it has been a little bit closer than what some people think. I mean, 3 of the 4 games have been ended by 1 goal. Like you said, they haven't had the lead. The Sharks have played very poorly. I think everybody can admit that. They've underachieved so far. And I don't think that they're about to all of a sudden turn this around on Pittsburgh, who looks set. I mean, you got 3 chances now, 2 at home to finish this job off. So I think we both like Pittsburgh to take the Cup final. Obviously, no one's going too bold with the bold pick of the day.
No,
I'm taking San
bold.
Jose. But I want to pose a question. We have 2 finals going on right now. 2
finals, yep.
We do. 2 separate sports. And the other one has turned out to be a little bit of a blowout as well. Golden State Warriors are up 2-0 on Cleveland. So let me ask you this, Big Andy.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Who's got, if you have to choose, the best chance of a possible turnaround? The Cleveland Cavaliers or the San Jose Sharks?
I will pick the... They both have a very small chance of turning around.
Yeah.
I'd bet a few houses on the Golden State and Pittsburgh.
Just the house.
A few houses.
Oh, just a couple houses.
A few.
Yeah, you don't want to do too big of a bet now. Start small, kids, with just a couple houses.
I guess technically Cleveland has a chance. Technically, but once again we're seeing LeBron's side pieces are proving to be LeBron's side pieces. It's LeBron against Golden State. I think we're finding out again.
This series was supposed to be close.
I never thought it was.
Oh, well, there you go.
Did you think it was?
There's a lot of people who said it should have been close. They said that Cleveland was better this year. They said, but they forgot that Golden State is also better this year.
And they forget that Golden State is the best team ever.
But last year's World Series was close.
World Series?
No,
NBA Finals.
NBA Finals was close. The World Series was not close.
It was kind of close. Yeah.
So I think a lot of people expected the same type of thing. And if you remember last year, they actually left Golden State with it tied at 1. Series was tied at 1. Both the games went to overtime.
That's right.
In the Oracle. So that then leads me to think that has not happened this time around. We have 15-point blowout in the first game, and how do you beat that? Let's double it with a 30-point blowout in game 2.
And that's with your MVP averaging what, like 15 a game? Like he's barely
showed up yet.
He just needs his
resting himself.
Yeah. I give San Jose the better chance because pucks can bounce different ways in hockey, and
which is kind of incredible because as we sit right now, mathematically, Cleveland has a much better chance than San Jose does.
Mathematics, Matt.
I know you never a fan of going to math class, but they have a much better chance on paper. But I actually agree with you. I think that San Jose, I don't think they're going to turn it around, but maybe, like you said, they get a lucky bounce, one few pucks here and there, get a lucky win, and then maybe they start playing and play one really good game. Then they're tied. They have a 50-50 chance. So it's very slim pickings for both, but I honestly don't see Cleveland pulling this one off. Golden State, even if the worst case scenario happens for Golden State and they lose both games in Cleveland, if they lose every game in Cleveland, the Cavs still have to beat the Warriors in the Oracle Arena, where they went unbeaten for almost a year and a half.
It's not going to happen.
No, best case scenario for the Cavs is they lose in 7. So I don't see it happening.
As a sports fan, I feel robbed, Matthew. We're just getting treated to the worst 2 finals simultaneously at the same time. It's just
tough times.
Play me a fiddle right now.
Bang the hammer twice. Worst 2 finals and San Jose with a better chance.
Double banger.
And they're not going to do it.
We have a double banger. Okay.
We've been robbed.
Now, Matt.
Yes.
Well, I am sick and tired of the finals. Mm-hmm. Both finals.
You sound it.
There's not much to discuss with them. They're both kind of done deals. One thing that isn't a done deal is the Conn Smythe winner in the NHL Finals.
Ooh.
Now, most of the talk is around 3 names winning it. Sidney Crosby, Phil Kessel, and Thunder Bay's finest, Matt Murray. Now, that's, of course, assuming Pittsburgh pulls it off. So who you got, Matt?
Well, Sidney Crosby obviously is going to always be in one of those 3 for recognition. Okay, 17 points, 22 games. Arguably, he's overall a more balanced player than he's probably ever been before. And he's going to win another cup. I think he has tough competition to win this, though, because I don't think he has stood out enough from the Thrill himself.
The Thrill.
Phil Kessel. And I think it's time of the show. It's this time of the show now. Leafs fans, where you turn down your volume.
Turn it down.
Don't listen to this next bit because it will hurt. Okay, so are we turned down?
Turned down. Okay, good.
Phil Kessel could actually do this. In his first season away from Toronto, he's proven all of his critics wrong, and everybody's saying that he's, washed up or not performing, and he goes out there and has an incredible playoffs, and he's helping lead that line to the best performance there is. So Phil Kessel has to be certainly in with a good chance.
Is that who you're picking, Matthew?
No.
That's not who you're picking.
No, I always like to tease.
Matthew,
Phil Kessel has the best chance of any player that's not a goaltender.
See, the one argument I have against Phil Kessel is, sure, he's leading the team with 21 points, but 10 of those are on the power play. Those are easy points, relatively. He's got 11 even strength goals. That doesn't impress me so much. So I myself...
That don't impress me much.
Not much at all, Shania. I'm saying nay to Phil, but who are you saying, Matthew? Who are you saying?
Matt Murray.
Thunder Bay's finest.
Yes.
Wow.
22 years old. Rookie. He's posted a .930 save percentage just in the Stanley Cup Finals alone. Alone so far. Everybody ruled out Pittsburgh of making a deep playoff run without Fleury. Everybody. And so that is enough for me to win it. He's been the difference maker, what everybody expected. He is playing behind a defense that's performing remarkably well.
Yes.
Which is obviously going to be the one downfall of him, but I don't think you can take too much points away from him. And I don't even know what the future has in store now for Fleury, because it's going to be hard for the Pens not to go all in with a rookie that leads them to a Stanley Cup win.
I think Fleury's gone.
Yes.
First and foremost. I am going to completely disagree with your Matt Murray take.
I thought we were having a good run.
No, this is the first time
I thought it was going
today.
too well.
Well, you're wrong. I'm going to tell you when you're wrong, Matthew. They might give it to him just because that's what the NHL does. But I don't think he deserves it, and so my vote does not go to him, even though I don't get a vote. See, for me, for a goalie to win the Conn Smythe, he has to steal games for his team in the playoffs. I don't think Matt Murray has stolen many games.
He hasn't needed to.
He hasn't needed to. So he's been solid, but he hasn't been great. He hasn't been out of this world. The Penguins have been out of this world good because of one thing. It is their depth in scoring. And their depth in scoring has been a large part from the HBK line. So for that reason, my vote for the Conn Smythe winner is, bold prediction of the day, Nick Bonino is my Conn Smythe winner.
Wow.
Why, you ask? Why? Well, he's tied for second on the team in points with 17, but only 3 of those are power play points. That means 14 even strength points. He's tied for the lead in the team in plus minus, showing that he's got a good 200-foot game. That secondary scoring has been the X factor for me. Therefore, Nick Bonino, former Vancouver Canuck.
Congratulations, Andy. You are completely wrong. He has 0 chance.
He deserves it. He deserves it.
He might deserve it, but he has 0 chance of winning the Conn Smythe. Congratulations, Matt Murray, on your Conn Smythe trophy.
Biggest shame of the 21st century if Bonino does not win.
I'm moving on because I want to get this over with and go home, because you're making me very upset by throwing out. You threw out 3 names and then you completely went with a 4th guy in Bonino. And
well, that's the Conn Smythe winner. He deserves it. Oh, fast fact for you, just before we get off that. Do you know Crosby's plus minus in the whole playoffs? Although it's kind of an outdated stat, I still think it shows a little bit.
This one I don't know the answer to.
It's -2.
Oof.
That is amazing for the guy that's getting Conn Smythe talk, for a guy whose team is 1 win away from winning the NHL Stanley Cup.
Good in golf,
-2?
not good in the playoffs.
No, you're right.
So I agree. I don't think Crosby deserves it.
Good. We're going to agree on that.
So we agree by completely disagreeing.
That's how we do it. That's how we roll on the verdict.
Any court cases that you want settled, please just give us a call. We can do it. Us and Judge Judy.
Yep.
We are doing a lot of advertising for ABC so far.
Let's do some advertising for a different company then.
Yes. So let's switch over sports completely.
Yep.
And then some big news this weekend.
Gigantic
Huge news. Muhammad Ali passed away with a record of 56-5 was his career record. And this is the time of the year where you get all of the guys who fought against him, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, all these guys, coming out and saying, what a great guy he was, what a great fighter he was. And we really can't add a whole lot to that.
No.
Because it's very difficult to to involve yourself in that when the man retired 8 years before I was born.
It's true. Yeah, it's tough for us to comprehend.
So, what does the name Muhammad Ali mean to you? A man that was born the same year the first website was built, Big Andy Redding. I did my research.
That's research, folks.
What does Muhammad Ali's passing?
It's the passing of the greatest of all time. Not even just the greatest boxer of all time, but he's in the conversation for greatest athlete of all time.
Yes.
He was a cross-generational star. He had people talking at the dinner table who never watched boxing before about him.
Yeah.
And also, he was a large philanthropist off the boxing ring. He was
He could win by moving around. He could win by going on the ropes. And honestly, I think that people of our generation don't get a chance to, just binge watch videos of Muhammad Ali on YouTube and old fights, but it's incredible, like some of the things that you see. And what I take away from it is the best boxer of our generation is Floyd Mayweather. Mm-hmm. Floyd, too much money, Mayweather. Okay? He's 49-0 in his career. We all know he's going to get to 50. We all know he's going to come back and win another fight. So I have to try and compare what I've seen from Mayweather to, I suppose, the small amount that I've seen from Muhammad Ali. And Mayweather, almost half of his wins have been by decision. Ali had 37 knockouts. Mm-hmm. And all I know about watching Muhammad Ali is Ali in his prime versus Mayweather in his prime. I don't think you get many takers on Floyd Mayweather winning that fight. There is no comparison. So even though Mayweather might, on record, retire undefeated and have a better record, Muhammad Ali was the greatest ever.
We'll agree on that.
Even a young generation that was born the same year that Pizza Hut came out.
Is that so?
Could not disagree.
No, I can't. He brought that sport to its pinnacle through his fighting style, through his outside of the ring charisma. What has Floyd Mayweather done? If anything, he's been bad
bought a new
for the
house?
sport. I think he's been bad for the sport. Having your top dog as a boring fighter, I'm going to say he's a boring fighter, and yeah.
No, I agree. Muhammad Ali, greatest ever.
Another sneaky right hand. This time he works over the shoulder of Foreman.
Congratulations. Am I the greatest of all time? Too power, too strong. I proved that Allah is God. If you believe in Him, nothing, even George Foreman, will look like a baby.
Staying on the topic, kind of.
Staying in the ring.
Yes. We're gonna switch over. We're gonna talk about Brock Lesnar. But
Lesnar.
We're not gonna talk about WWE.
Well, no.
What is happening?
Now, Brock Lesnar announced that he will be returning for UFC 200 to take on Mark Hunt. Now, this is a big promotional thing for the UFC, Matt. Does this make you interested? Does this make you more likely to buy the pay-per-view?
No. Not one bit.
Flat out.
There is no way. And this is greed at its finest, in my opinion.
Yep.
What I can't quite put my finger on is who provoked the greed. Was it UFC admitting that this UFC 200, which was supposed to be this huge event, didn't quite have the same taste that they were hoping for, and they just all of a sudden threw a number at Lesnar that he couldn't resist? Or did Lesnar say, I want to go back to the UFC? I find it hard to believe that this is coming from Brock Lesnar. However, he did accept the offer to go back and take a paycheck. So, no, this doesn't interest me at all. How about you?
I'm happy you're not falling for the trap, Matty, because it is a trap.
I've learned from you.
This is a one-off gimmick. Nobody fall for this trap. Please.
Safety tip of the day.
Safety tip of the day. I think this is coming from three angles. Three organizations want this. It's a triangle. The UFC obviously wants this. They want to generate more pay-per-view buys, and they will do that. Brock Lesnar obviously wants this because he's going to get paid a ton. I don't even, maybe more than
They're
anyone
still
in UFC
typing
history.
the zeros right now
Still
on
typing.
the check.
Still typing. And I also think this is good for the WWE. They want to create this mythical beast creature, and if he can win in a real life situation, then they can build his character in the WWE ring and make him seem like a stronger character.
If he loses?
Then that's bad for the WWE. It does not look as good.
No, and here's my problem with it. I mean, Brock is a huge name in WWE, and I understand like the body begins to slow down. The attraction of WWE is obviously huge. You can sit on your own, on the reputation that you built through the years to actually fighting in the UFC. You could cash it all in the WWE. You don't have to do a real fight again. So it's interesting that Lesnar's going back to do this. But he's 38.
He's 38 years old.
He's 38 years old. He has a body built like a bulldozer for the UFC, for the WWE.
Yeah.
He's had no training at all for this fight.
4.5 years away from the ring.
Yeah, and he's just going to go in there, and he could lose because he's 38. He's no longer in his prime. Why would I get excited about seeing a washed-up Brock Lesnar, and even the Brock Lesnar fans, I mean, the UFC fans, you would have enjoyed him when he was at his best. When Lesnar was in his prime, great. So what? He's coming back and he's washed up. I'm not interested.
I think the UFC has countered your argument very well. They've sneakily put him against a very mediocre opponent as well, who I think they're both mediocre, so they're going to have a good match. Mark Hunt is 12-10-1 in his career. That's a pretty crummy MMA record.
It is.
Like, he's lost as many times as he's won, more or less. So being that they're both mediocre heavyweights, I think they're going to have a good fight.
Yeah. But it will
I
be
think
only entertaining to see what 4 years away from UFC can do to a fighter when this fight's going to be reasonably close, you'd think, and it, shouldn't be close based on all-time greats. So UFC 200, we're all probably going to watch it at some bar or something that's going to be on in the background. I don't look for the UFC 200 more than any other UFC. I think they've failed on trying to grasp any extra interest than, the Holly Holmes fight and things like that. So I'm not interested.
That being said, if they're looking for another fight to add to the card, I know two sports podcast hosts who would be willing to fight.
Just
each
start
other.
talking about the Conn Smythe, and I'm
Me
already
and you will
ready.
toss it, and I think we'd have an equally exciting fight.
I'm better at WWE than UFC. I'll tell you right now.
Are
And
you?
boxing, I have quick feet.
Okay, we're both not interested. That's
No.
the verdict.
Yeah, not interested. One team that is interesting, switching sports completely as we do on the
Completely.
verdict.
To the most
Random of all.
It's still a physical sport lately, but it's
We're going to go to the Chicago Cubs.
the Chicago Cubs, the Cubbies, the lovable, not so much losers anymore.
No, they've already won the World Series.
They are more or less.
Yeah, that's
they
what
are-
the whole league is pretty much admitting right now, that they probably going to win the World Series. Certainly favorites.
Yep.
So
They're 40-17. They have a 702 win percentage.
Yep.
So the question now arises: can they challenge the MLB record of 116 wins?
now are you asking, can they challenge it or can they beat it?
Can they? Can they beat it?
They can.
They can.
Are you asking, will they beat it?
Will they beat it?
No, they will not beat it. Here's my thing, and I just obviously go by they could, obviously, and everybody could be hip hip hurrah. I mean, that record is a very hard record to beat. 116 wins from a 2001.
But their win percentage isn't that far off, man.
No,
I mean,
but it is,
Mariners
but it's still behind. And the Cubs have been playing extremely well.
True.
And they're still behind the pace. So if the Cubs falter at any point, then no, they have no chance. That's my issue with it. How about, what are your feelings? I see you got a lot of anger built up.
I'm just trying to play the devil's advocate. I don't think they're going to do it.
No.
I think they've been extremely hot to start this year. They're bound to come down.
Yeah. They're in a tough division too.
And I don't think this is their year to challenge for it. I think they could do it in 2 years from now. I think they're young guys like Addison Russell, Chris Bryant, and Kyle Schwarber, all 24 or younger. They're going to grow and get to be better players. They could challenge it in a year or two.
Yeah.
Not this year.
They have three of their 5 rotations right now is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, you have 3 of the top 6 ERAs in all of baseball
It's remarkable.
on the one team. That's crazy. You never hear that. But they are in a very tough division. Let's not forget, this division had both the wildcard teams for the National League last year. The Cardinals have not started well. The Pirates have started okay. But, I mean, these teams are going to take wins away from each other. The Mariners in 2001, they had the A's. The A's were the second-best team, and they were in the same division. But the other two people in the division that year were, they were easy wins. That's a lot of wins to go. I mean, I have them as high as 105, maybe 110 wins or something like that, over the 100 mark. But
still,
you're going to fall short.
10 off,
Yeah.
6 off.
Too
ridiculous.
No, yeah.
Silly question, Andy. Why'd you ask that question?
Exactly. You know what? I just want to fight you right now.
I know. You know what? From a silly question to my...
silly picks of the week.
They're not silly. It's my favorite time of the week, Maddie. I wait every week. I
to
stay
make
up
a
all
fool
night.
of yourself.
Matt, what's your pick of the week?
I'm going to go to tennis.
Tennis.
Yeah.
Wow, Matt's
Petra
going...
Kvitova.
One more time?
Petra Kvitova.
Okay. Tell me, Matthew.
Women's Wimbledon. She's actually ranked 6-1 to win Wimbledon. And I'm going to tennis because, honestly, this time of year, there's not a whole lot looking around. So you got to look at future bets a lot of the time, and you got to look for good value. And I believe there's only really going to be probably 2 winners of Wimbledon. Serena Williams won it in 2000, she won it last year, and she won it in 2012 or 2013. And then Petra won it in 2011 and 2014. So those two are going to battle it out to win it. I like 6-1 a whole lot better than 1.5 to 1. So I'm going to go with, that's my pick.
Wow.
I'm going to go tennis. She's very, very good play on grass, which Wimbledon, and I think it's very difficult to duplicate Wimbledon, and I think Serena Williams will fall short.
Serena who?
Williams.
Yeah, exactly. You're tossing Serena aside like she's nothing.
Yep.
Like she's not the greatest ever.
Yeah. I'm doing that, but I'm doing it at 6-1 odds. Good price.
I like the odds. And I'm happy you mentioned good value because I love value.
You were the one that created rollback for Walmart, weren't you?
Value for you and your family.
It was his idea.
Now, I know we talked about UFC 200 before, and I know Brock Lesnar is stealing the limelight, but I want to talk about a different fight on the card.
Okay.
I know it's a month away, but when the lines are open, Matt, you got to jump. You got to jump when you see some value. And what I'm talking about is the light heavyweight championship match between the current champion, Daniel Cormier, and the interim champion, John Bones Jones.
Jones.
Now, Cormier, he's 17-1 in his career. His only loss did come to Bones Jones over a year ago.
I think I know which way you're leaning here.
But in that past year, Bones Jones has gone completely off the rails. He's failed drug tests for cocaine, he's had a hit and run, and he's been suspended and out of the sport completely. So, for that reason and for the reason of value, I'm taking the upset, Matty. Daniel Cormier at plus 235.
Ooh. This is good value.
I'm sitting pretty in Suntan City, Matt.
We're both going with a dog. We're probably both going to be wrong, but we got good value.
It's the dog days of summer, Matt. You got to do this.
Good value is what it means. So from me and the man beside me who, let me get this straight, the reason why Pizza Hut is still around is there's a few Pizza Huts in that stomach of his. That's why they call him Big Andy. Take the next.
I'm gonna put a hex on you.